welcome to North TV's presentation of the high school football game of the week. It's the Milford Scarlet Hawks coming down to North Attleboro to take on the Red Rocketeers in Davenport Division play inside the Hockomock League. Jared Ware, Del Malloy, and Mark Farinella here to bring in the action. Del, it's been a slow start to the year for the Scarlet Hawks, still looking for win number one. What are your thoughts on the Scarlet Hawks coming into this one?
Well, it has been a rough start, 0-3. They've only scored 19 points offensively in the 3 games, but they've only given up 56, so they're playing some good defense. Some people to keep an eye on, quarterback number 7, Colby Pyers. We watched him in the warm-up. He's got a nice, easy release. The kicker, number 8, Sean Lahane, he looks like he's got 50-plus yard range. And number 25, Chappelle Feaster, arguably the fastest and most elusive running back in the whole Hockomock League. But the one player who's going to stand out for obvious reasons is 75 Kevin Pine, who stands at a mere 6'8" and weighs almost 300 pounds and is a legitimate Division I prospect at offensive tackle. So you can't take them lightly. You've got to come and play and let it be decided on the field, not in the statistics or press clippings.
Yeah, we'll have much more on Kevin Pine as this game goes on and his outstanding bud line. Mark, the last time we saw North Attleboro here, they got upset by Bishop Feehan in a big-time rivalry game. You went to Sharon last week. What did you see on the road from this Red Rocketeers team?
Well, I think what I saw was what Donnie Johnson wanted to see, too, was a lot crisper performance, better execution. Obviously, the starters only played about a half. I think they were up 35-7 at halftime. Sharon did pose a few threats, though. They had a quarterback who can throw. They had a couple of good little receivers. And when you spread the field like that, that's one thing we noticed that North had some trouble with against Bishop Feehan. One of the things that Milford does is they will switch into a spread offense every now and then. So that's something they're going to have to be aware of. It's been another one of those rough practice weeks. Donnie Johnson told me that the rain had hampered them a lot. They've been in the gym. The grass fields were underwater. They had their trouble getting out here to practice. So hopefully that won't be too much of a hindrance as they take on the Scarlet Hawks of Milford.
North Attleboro won the toss. They deferred. They will kick off. Andy DiMatteo on kicking duty for the Red Rocketeers in their traditional red tops, red helmets, white pants. The Scarlet Hawks with the black helmets, the white jerseys, and the gray pants. That return was scooped up short by Dylan Ortiz. He gets across the 35-yard line. They might spot it actually back at the 29-yard line, and that's where the Scarlet Hawks offense will take over. Colby Pyers, a junior quarterback standing 6'2", will lead the show tonight for Milford.
Not a particularly deep kick by North Attleboro, but great coverage by special teams. He had no lane to run in.
That is one very large man at left tackle, isn't it?
Yeah, keep an eye on Pine. He has got the frame you're looking for a big-time left tackle. This is Feaster off the left side, cuts back up the middle across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 4 on first down, second down and 6 for Milford.
Well, there's no kidding around to where they feel like they can run, what side of the field they can go around. Let's see what kind of a job this kid can do. Obviously, when you have a big tackle like that, you want him to protect your quarterback. Let's see if he's a run blocker.
First pass attempt of the game. This is Pyers, and incomplete. Was looking down the near side towards Feaster. Also had Hugo Lopez in the area as well.
Excellent coverage by North Attleboro. They had a number of players in the area, and it just wasn't going to happen on that attempt.
Almost off of Jonathan James' hands, too. There might have been an interception possibility there.
Yeah, on the replay, looked like James got a fingertip to it. Milford working very quickly, coming to the line with that spread option attack out of the gun. Pyers looking to the right, firing over the middle, incomplete. And that's going to be pass interference. Yeah, went a little early there. That was Brian Engler, who was all over Brendan White, the intended receiver. And you'll see probably both hands on both shoulder pads. He's twisted White as well, so pretty much a no-doubter. The flags came out a little late.
This is one of the risks when a team comes out there with the spread offense. You've got to send everybody back in coverage almost. Either it causes mismatches and people get open, or you've got people out there covering that might be a little bit out of their element. Obviously, Engler's used to doing what he's doing, just got him a little bit early.
Yep.
So out of the gun continues Pyers in the Milford offense. You talked about Pine. He's going to be matched up with Ryan Clemente, committed to Sacred Heart University. Pine, we didn't mention that he's only a junior at 6'8", 200, listed at 285. They swing this out to Feaster, makes the first man miss, keeps his feet, and he's going to be driven down after picking up 2 yards to bring up 2nd down and 8.
Still, that was a pretty good job by Gallman to get under him a little bit and to disrupt his momentum.
Yeah, I've watched the Clement matchup against Mr. Pine, and on 2 pass attempts, Clement's going by him before he even get out of his stance, so maybe different in the running game.
Already garnering interest from Notre Dame, Michigan, Boston College. Boston College, obviously, offensive line university. Low snap gratefully fell into the arms of the upback. That looks like Luke Rosa, who was able to dive ahead for 2 more yards to bring up 3rd down and 5, but more importantly, he avoided disaster.
Yeah, he was Johnny on the spot there. If he doesn't get down there and get that ball, we could have had the Red Rocketeers starting their first offensive possession in Milford territory.
3rd down and 5, Milford just across the 50-yard line at the 49. They went to White on the slant on the last 3rd down conversion. We'll see what the play call is here for Pyers. 3 receivers in the formation, Feaster in the slot. That's where Pyers is looking under pressure, evades the rush towards the near sideline, looking to complete the pass in toward Feaster, nearly intercepted by Gauman, but it goes incomplete and will bring up 4th down and 5.
Yeah, nice job by North, not only in the pass rush, but the coverage. There really was no one to throw to. For a minute, I thought the quarterback was going to keep it.
Good pressure in there, though, and that always can be very disruptive, especially, but you got so many receivers out, you have still some options if you can keep your wits about you.
So the punt unit on the field for Milford. The deep man for North Attleboro is number 18, Jared Penta. The punt under some pressure gets away, and this will corner its way at about the 20-yard line and bounces straight left out of play towards the Milford sideline. And we'll get our first look at Nick Ranieri and the starting Red Rocketeers offense.
You know, Penta unfortunately did not get a chance to show his chops on that play. He went in at quarterback to start the second half against Sharon, and one of his first plays was a 40-yard run from scrimmage, and he was weaving through everybody. It was a great run by the kid, only a sophomore.
North 2-1 on the season. They started the year here at Beaupre Field with a 14-7 win over King Philip, snapping their streak that extended back a few years ago. They lost to Fian here a few weeks ago, 23-19, and they went on the road last Saturday to beat Sharon 42-14. So 2-1, 1-0 so far in the Hockomock League, taking on the 0-3 Scarlet Knights, who are 0-1 in the league. And the first play of the game is a keeper by Ranieri, breaks the first tackler across the 25, still keeps his legs turning to about the 27-yard line, and that will be a pickup of 6 to bring up 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, tough kid, just a tough kid. You really got to put your nose down to get him on the ground.
Well, we saw that physical between the tackles running style last year with Chad Peterson, and Ranieri, who was primarily a running back last year, has taken over the quarterback position and kept that style of offense going this year for the Red Rocketeers. 2 receivers coming to the bottom of the formation for the Red Rocketeers. Rolling to that side of the field to his left of Ranieri. He's under pressure, hit as he throws, and that's going to be incomplete through the arms of Jonathan James, but lucky he got that away. That looked like that was 59 Dom Schofield in the backfield, bringing the pressure on Ranieri.
James has been in on a couple of plays already, and there have been a couple of passes that he's almost been able to get his hands on. If this young man doesn't get the ball up a little bit more, he's going to give up an interception before too long.
So the Red Rocketeers come to the line with facing their first 3rd down of the game. Started their last home game with a bang, the long touchdown pass to open up the lead against Fian. This is going to be a give off the left-hand side, picking up the 1st down. If he can break the tackle, he'll pick up more, but slung down across the 40-yard line is Ryan Boyle on his first touch of the game.
Did you see that acceleration? Once he saw the hole, there he goes. That was a great run.
Yeah, Feaster needed to make that tackle, or Boyle would have ripped off plenty more yards there. So the 1st down for the Red Rocketeers keeps the drive moving. 2 run attempts, 1 pass attempt so far for North Attleboro. Gauman at the bottom of the formation, McHugh in the slot towards the bottom of the screen. Jassa split all the way out at the top of the screen. Boyle in the backfield. 4 receivers in the set. They give it up the middle to Boyle, who breaks a tackle. He's got grass to run into. It's a foot race, and he's going to be tracked down by Arosa, but not after picking up the first down and getting the Red Rocketeers into the red zone.
What a nice addition to the North attack. I don't remember seeing this kind of speed in a while.
Boyle got a couple of touches, very solid ones, too, in the Sharon game. And you can see that Donnie Johnson's wanting to work him in a little bit more. Probably give another option to the offense. I mean, you've got Ranieri who can take off straight up. You have McHugh who can go around the end. And now you got another weapon going out there. That's good for them.
First red zone trip of the game for either team. Ranieri's going to give it to McHugh off the left side. He's got a caravan of lead blockers. A flag comes into the play. McHugh will get to the pylon and get into the end zone, but we're going to have to hold our breath there because we do have Laundry on the field in the area of holding.
Yeah, Chapotko looks like.
And it will be an illegal chop block on North Attleboro. See if we can find where the infraction happened here on the replay. Good kick out block there by James.
It happened, I think, on the right side of the formation.
Oh, McHugh stepped out of bounds anyways at the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
Well, that will move the Red Rocketeers back. I didn't see much there. There might have been certainly somewhere. So it'll move the Red Rocketeers back to 1st and long. Ranieri takes the snap off the right side. He's got to hold a run through. And he's going to weave his way back to the 25-yard line. He picks up 7. Still behind the chains to about 2nd down and 13.
A very safe but productive play for North Attleboro. Certainly Milford looking for a pass play, but they didn't get one.
Brendan White's been around the ball a few times for Milford's defense, but this is a good spot for them to bow their back. They got the penalty on 1st down, still 2nd and 13 here. And the passing game has been hit or miss so far through the first 2 games that we've been to. Not sure how it looked in the Sharon game.
Bro, Gorman was excellent, but this is a different level of talent.
McHugh, quick swing pass. He's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage and pick up 3 more from there to bring up 3rd down and 7. So a nice gain there on 2nd and long to get them into 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, nice pass and a couple of blockers out in front. It could have broke, but got to give Milford's defense credit.
We're right on the line of what Tyler DiMattio's effective range might be. So depending on the result of this play, we could see North go for it if they get to a 4th and short, or they could roll DiMattio out early to get their first points on the board. Gauman at the bottom of the formation, man-to-man coverage with Feaster, 3 receivers to the short side of the field. Coming back near side to Gauman, tunnel screen set up over the middle. Gauman picks up the 1st down, looking for the end zone, reaches, and they're going to say he's down at about the 1-yard line, just shy of picking up his 4th touchdown catch of the year.
We've seen that play a couple of weeks ago. It's just delay pattern. He hangs out there, then boom, he lets everything settle in, and he picks his spot. And he reads the play so well from the receiver position.
And he does an excellent job of gaining after the catch. I mean, he's got such vision out there. He can see what is forming ahead of him, and he has just got a second sense for being able to, dodge somebody and pull a few more yards out of it. That's what he did against Sharon. He made an outstanding catch on the last play of the first half last week, and I can see he's continuing that on right now.
Yeah.
First time out of the game. The Red Rocketeers have an opportunity to talk this over on 1st down and just a few inches from opening up the scoring here against Milford. Mentioned they've only scored the 19 points so far this season. They've given up 56 through 3 games, so it's been a struggle on both sides of the ball for Milford up to this point. They played Canton tough in their last game, losing by 2 to a 2-1 team in the Davenport division. But if Coach Vizakis wants to bring his team back to the postseason, they're going to have to start winning games in a hurry. They finished the regular season last year 3-4, which was good enough to qualify as the number 7 seed in Division III South. So they're not out of playoff contention just yet, but a loss here would really put their backs up against the wall. Ranieri will keep it himself off the right side, and he walks into the end zone for the first score of the game. 6-0 North Attleboro.
No problem at all.
You know what we saw in that whole drive? A lot of variation in the plays. They didn't do the same play. I don't even know if they did the same play twice in the whole sequence. So a lot of variety, which kept Milford off balance.
And they were able to make up for the illegal chop block penalty, which set them back 10 yards, but opened up holes against this Milford defense. And if you're doing it this early in the game, they're going to be even bigger as we get into late into the third and into the fourth quarter. The extra point is up, and the extra point is good for North Attleboro's Andy DiMatteo. Or excuse me, Tyler DiMatteo. As we get another look at the score, and just good kick-out blocking, and no one in white there to get to the goal line before Ranieri does, as he walks in for another touchdown run to add to his career tally. And North is up 7-0.
Hey, guys, I got a trivia question for you. How many North Attleboro players, and we'll be talking about NFL bloodlines a little bit later, but how many North Attleboro players have been drafted by National Football League teams? But I'm going to put a little asterisk on this one because I'll tell you about it whenever you try to answer the question. Let's put it that way. Anybody?
Till you got to guess?
Two is correct to an extent, of course. Chris Sullivan, who played with the Patriots and with the Pittsburgh Steelers, then finished his career with the Patriots.
Yep.
And, of course, Anthony Sherman, drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, but the longtime special teams captain and fullback of the Kansas City Chiefs. However, there's a third North Attleboro individual, and I won't say native, who has played a very large role, and we'll get to him in a second.
Feaster is the deep man around the corner to the 30, the 40, and this is going to be great starting field position. We talked about the speed that Feaster has. Saw that there on display as he's going to set up Milford starting at the 45-yard line.
There's one other individual very, very highly regarded in North Attleboro who was drafted by an NFL team at one point. And I'll give you a little hint. The street that North Attleboro High School is on was named after him.
Landry.
Nope, it's Wilson Whitty, the former principal, and I'll explain that in a second.
Out of the gun, two receivers to either side of the set. The give is up the middle to Rosa. He drives to the 50-yard line across to the 49, a pickup of 6. The ball's came
down.
out.
They say it's down, maybe. Oh,
No signal yet.
wait a minute. I think they're saying that ball was live.
And it will be a fumble recovery for North Attleboro. And those are the type of mistakes you need to avoid when you're 0-3 on the season and you're on the road. Rosa just fighting for extra yards, and you see the ball come out there.
Was it Cummer that got it?
It looked like it was Labonte who was at the bottom of the pile there for North Attleboro who recovered the fumble. Point of contact does look like it was 55 Trevor Hewitt in the area. So the Red Rocketeers forced the turnover, and now they have a relatively speaking short field, the ball at the 48-yard line.
As I mentioned, Wilson Whitty, the former principal of North Attleboro High School, was drafted in the 12th round in 1968 as a linebacker out of Boston University by the Dallas Cowboys. However, he played his high school ball at Foxborough. So that's a little bit of trivia there that you may like to use at a party sometime.
Swing pass to McHugh, breaks the first tackle, gets across the 50, is thrown down at the 47-yard line. That will be a pickup of 5, bringing up 2nd down and 5 for North.
You got to give Milford credit on that. A quick pass to the left side. They had 3 tacklers in the area. They responded to that pass nicely.
Killing him with the short passing game, though, right now. Pretty much extended handoffs when you have guys like Gauman and McHugh lining up on the perimeter who are shifty and quick. Pretty high percentage play calling. Out of the shotgun stays Ranieri. Boyle's in the backfield. McHugh comes in motion. Swing pass. That was a lateral. McHugh is going to be wrapped up and fights his way close to the original line of scrimmage, but he will lose 2. Brings up 3rd down and 7.
I was going to say they didn't fool too many people with that, but McHugh did a very good job out of making at least less of a loss out of it than what it could have been. He could have been trapped for about a 7 or 8 yard loss.
Yeah, Ryan Hazard really made the play for Milford, coming up and forcing McHugh to hesitate a little bit and allowed the Milford teammates to get over there to finish it up.
Let me tell you something. File that play away. That was a backwards lateral. So if North Attleboro has any sort of double pass setup, that might be the play that they put on tape, whether it be later in this game or later on in the season where they look for a trick play. So just keep that in your file as they run that tunnel screen to Gauman. This is going to be enough for a first down across the 40 down to the 37-yard line. And one of the benefits of having the undersized offensive line, they're quick enough to get out in space, and this tunnel screen is super effective because of that.
I'll tell you, Gauman is really starting to emerge for this team now.
Yeah, he's been so darn consistent no matter what you ask him to do. Special teams, defense, offense, doesn't matter.
Also to be noted, this is the most passing we've seen in a first half so far out of Mr. Ranieri and his offense.
So first down from the 38-yard line for North Attleboro, continuing to move the ball in chunks against Milford. They give us to McHugh, looking to find the corner. He's got a lead blocker. Boyle gets his hat on a hat. First down from McHugh. Made a man miss, and well, he didn't think his knee was down, but they're going to say he's down at the 21-yard line. Another first for North Attleboro. Pickup of 17 for McHugh. Watch this block from Boyle out in space, the running back who's had some big plays. Might have been a little face mask there as well. Ooh, I don't know if his knee was ever down.
His backside was, so prior to that roll.
Let's see if he ever touches the ground, because he might have rode off someone's chest here. Let's see, he's on a Milford player. He's on. No, he's still up. He is still up. Oh, elbows
Yep.
down there. At the very last second, Ranieri keeps it up the middle, running through would-be tacklers, keeping his legs turning, picks up the first down to the 5-yard line. And we talked about that physical between the tackles running from the quarterback. You just saw it on display again.
And the North Attleboro offensive line is definitely winning the battle right now. They're clearing out easy holes for him.
Very rarely do you see a quarterback who needs 3 defenders to bring him to the ground, but that's what Ranieri brings to this offense.
Yeah. I don't even like to call him a quarterback. I think he's just a football player.
Well, he's too bulky to really be – you can't get him down with an arm tackle. You really have to take him down fully. You got to wrap him up.
Spread formation, 4 receivers out for North. They're going to give it up the middle to Boyle. Looking to slice his way off that right side. He picks up 1 yard inside the 5-yard line to about the 4. So short gain there on first and goal for North. But just not the start that Milford is looking for. They haven't really been able to score the football at all so far this year. And if you fall behind 14-0 in the first quarter, that really puts your offense in a hole where they're going to have to start airing it out. And you open yourself up for multiple turnovers in a situation like that. Ranieri in the pistol. Boyle to his left. McHugh gets the toss. He was lined up straight behind Ranieri, looking for the corner of the end zone, and he walks in the final half yard, and that's the second touchdown of the game for North. But we do have a flag on the field in the area of holding and the muted celebration from McHugh. We'll tell you that was holding on North. So that's a second would-be touchdown run taken off the board.
Yep.
That's a shame, too, because they had walled everybody off. It was just going to be a very, very nice little jaunt into the end zone. But obviously one of those walled-off blocks had a few fingers into it somewhere. Let's see if we can see it.
Yeah, it might have been
I thought it was in the pile.
There, yeah.
Yep. I think both penalties were called so far away from the play.
They're going to stay in the same pistol formation. Boyle to the left, McHugh straight behind Ranieri. Naked bootleg. Ranieri looking to the back of the end zone for Freiberg. Makes the catch. Got his foot in bounds. And that's the second score of the game for North Attleboro. Ethan Freiberg with the touchdown grab from inside the red zone, and North is up 13-0.
That was a very, very nice catch by Freiberg. I mean, that kid hasn't caught too many passes here, but the ones he has caught have been practically spectacular. And he's got that very, very long wingspan. He can get up there and get that ball. Great job.
6'5", and he used every inch of it.
Yeah, had more than enough room there in the back of the end zone to bring that one in. DiMatteo on for the extra point to make it 14. Kick is up, and the kick is good, and North has touched the ball twice, and they've turn those into 2 touchdowns, and they're now ahead 14-0. Nice play call out of the same formation they ran on the previous play, and this is a great throw from Ranieri. This is only where Freiberg could get it. If it was going to be an incomplete pass, it would have been out of the back of the end zone, and there's no harm there.
And, of course, in the high schools, it's 1 foot down. You don't have to get them both. Although I've seen more kids working on getting both of them down as if they have dreams of something to happen later in their future. But it's always good to work on it. But here you only have to get that 1 foot down, and that's all you need to get the 6 points.
Yeah, Freiberg, I think he got both down, and I thought it looked a little closer from where we're sitting as they were running that play away from us. But on the replay, you got a good look at just how much room he had back there. So Feaster had the great kickoff return on the last kickoff attempt from North Attleboro, but immediately the Scarlet Hawks gave the football back to North. So they are really going to have to sharpen up on the offensive side of the ball. We've barely seen this Milford offense. DiMatteo kicks it deep. This one angled towards one of the other returners, Ortiz, specifically trying to keep it away from Chappelle Feaster. Ortiz is across the 30-yard line to the 31, and that's where Milford will take over.
Well, we'll be seeing Mr. Kevin Pine again out there at left tackle. And I'll tell you one thing. This kid has got a bloodline that's incredible. It's going to take me even a little while to explain it, so I'll just go with the first one here. His father, David, played at Lafayette. Only 1 year ahead of the brother of Coach Donnie Johnson of North Attleboro, his brother Jim.
Byers out of the shotgun, looking to throw on first down, flushed out of the pocket, tucks it down, dives across the 35-yard line to about the 36, a pickup of 5, 2nd and 5 from Milford.
Now, Mr. Pine's uncle, George IV, and I had to use the Roman numeral here on that one. He played Division I football at Brown University, but then he went on to establish several sports management companies. He was also briefly the top guy at NASCAR, and his son is a major college prospect at quarterback. He might end up at Notre Dame.
Could see a link up there of the two cousins under the Fighting Irish and Brian Kelly, if he's still the coach there, if he doesn't get fired. Not out of the realm of possibility, but that will be the final play of the first quarter, which has been dominated by North Attleboro. 2 scores to put them up 14-0 here inside Davenport Division play. They lead Milford here on North TV. Nearly 150 years ago, William H. Riley and his son Elmer started providing coal, straw, and other heating supplies to the people of North Attleboro. W.H. Riley & Son is still owned by the same family, but now delivers oil and propane as well as services to your heating system and air conditioner. Today, like then, you can rely on W.H. Riley for all your heating and cooling needs.
Off the Ground Drone Services is proud to support quality local programming on North TV. Providing high-quality HD aerial photography and drone solutions in southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island, Off the Ground will give your next photography or videography project a unique perspective. Whether it's advertising and promotion, insurance assessments, commercial and residential real estate, or construction site.
Start of the second quarter, 2nd down and 5 for Milford. Low snap, Pyers handles it. Rosa broke a couple tackles in the backfield, diving forwards. Will bring up 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, it looked like that confusion on the handoff really messed it up. Look how many North players ran past the running back. They had him for a loss.
A much-needed 3rd down here for Milford and Colby Pyers. They need to keep their defense off the field for a couple minutes. They've had to work hard through that first quarter, and they'd like to get on the scoreboard here and cut into this deficit that they're looking at. So Feaster goes to the top of the formation. He's going to be covered by Gauman. Twin receivers towards the short side of the field. Rosa in the backfield. Pyers looking right, looking for Feaster. Tucks it down. Freiberg bringing the heat, and that's going to be a short throw towards Feaster and incomplete on 3rd down. And looks like Pyers is heading towards the sideline, and it looks like the punt unit will be on for Milford.
We were talking about Kevin Pine's bloodlines again. His uncle Jim is the one who has the real pedigree here. He played offensive line in the National Football League from 1994 to 2001 with Tampa Bay, Detroit, Cleveland, and he ended his career with Philadelphia.
Punt unit on the field for Milford. Putting his foot through this one is Lahane. This will bounce at the 30 and into the arms of Ortiz at about the 32-yard line. So a nice punt there from Lahane, who we're still waiting to see come on, maybe attempt a long field goal attempt.
I'm sure the Milford coach is going to ask Ortiz, why did you catch it instead of let it go another 10 yards or so? But he did show good hands.
I think that just caught him off guard. It bounced up at him, and there's nothing really he could do. So 31-yard line is where Ranieri and the offense will take over. They've touched the ball twice. They've scored twice. Been in the end zone 4 times. 2 of those touchdowns called back. And it's pretty much been routine here against the Milford defense. Haven't really seen a lot of the Milford linebackers making any plays at the second level. That's a pretty big problem.
And their line's not getting any push at all either. Their defensive line, they're not putting any pressure. They're getting pushed aside for on the running plays.
Penta in at quarterback, hands it off to Labonte going left. He's going to cut upfield, and it's going to be driven down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. 2nd down and 10.
North is going left and right. We might be time for just a quick hit straight up the gut.
And you talk about the self-scout. Again, putting a play on tape where Penta's handing off to Labonte. Also listed as the backup quarterback is Labonte. Penta still running the show for North Attleboro.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with Ranieri either. I think this is just Donnie getting a cut in to see what he does in a situation like this.
Yep.
We saw Penta come on for a few plays against Bishop Feehan when Ranieri went down in the first half, and Labonte also picked up an injury. Penta keeps it himself, dives across the 35-yard line. That's going to be a pickup of 4, 3rd down and 6. Question is, has Penta maybe moved ahead of Labonte on the depth chart at quarterback coming on here for Ranieri, picking up these reps against the starting varsity defense?
He's had a couple of impressive appearances when he's been in. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he had that 40-yard run almost as soon as he came into that game against Sharon last week.
3rd down, Penta rolling to his left. Quick fires, got the completion to James at midfield. He tumbles forwards across the 50, and there's a 1st down, and Penta's 1 for 1, and he keeps the Red Rocketeers offense moving.
I like that play. I really like that play.
Well, the interesting thing is that Penta moved ahead of Nick Ranieri at quarterback, and North in the process picked up one heck of a running back.
Yeah, Ranieri's still on the sideline. He came out to the coach's huddle there as Penta got the play, as Penta will stay in. 1st down and 10, ball at the 49-yard line. We talk about this pretty much year in and year out, how these guys down the depth chart get minutes on this North Attleboro roster in games that they're winning. This is a little earlier than we've seen, as this is a give to Boyle, who dives ahead across the 35-yard line, picks up about 7 to bring up 2nd down and 7.
There's an awful lot of confidence in this North Attleboro offense right now, even with the backup quarterback in. You can see that the left side of the line is just absolutely devastating what Milford's trying to put up against them.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. They had Boyle running short and another running back going deep, so he could hand it off or toss it. It really made the Milford defense freeze for a minute to figure out who's going to get the ball.
Penta still in the gun, Boyle in the backfield. Penta will keep it himself off the right-hand side, and this time he's going to be dragged down in the backfield, but we've got a penalty marker on the field. It will be a loss of 1 for Penta, but we'll see what the infraction was.
Holding.
And it will be another penalty against North Attleboro, their 3rd big penalty of the game on the offensive side of the ball. And so it will move North back 10 yards. And that will be 2nd down and 13 for North Attleboro, and Matt Penta, who stays in the game. Labonte's come on to split out wide for North. Coming to the slot to the near side. Jassa split out wide, bottom of the screen. McHugh in the slot, top of the screen, and Gauman all the way out with Feaster guarding him one-on-one. Penta keeps it himself, spins away from one tackler, trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and he's done enough to pick up 3 to get back to the 49-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and 10. Slightly better penetration from Milford over the last couple of plays. Penta's had to make a few men miss in the backfield, slowed him down, and now this is a big test for Penta, 3rd and long. It looks like a passing situation.
And I wouldn't be surprised if you see that same play as before, James going over the middle from right to left. The left-hander throws very nicely to the left side, so we'll see if that's what's opened up a little bit.
Rolling to his left is Penta, looking for Jassa, lofting that one up, and that will fall 2 or 3 yards out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, I guess I got that one wrong, huh?
Yeah, and at 4th down and 10, the punt team will be on. He never got his shoulder square and his feet set there, and the ball just sailed a little bit on Penta.
But you know, Mark, we didn't get that play call right. We didn't. But that's the beauty of this offense. You can't predict what they're going to do.
So Ranieri back on the field, the punt team out for North.
I'll be honest, I think it's a good thing right now that North is trying to work a little bit more passing into this offense. They need to be a little less one-dimensional.
Ranieri, rugby-style punt. A man right in Feaster's face. This will bounce inside the 15 and will be down at the 12-yard line. And the Milford offense will take over inside the shadow of their own goal line.
And now that Milford's going back on the field again, I can continue the saga of Kevin Pine's family. Hopefully I can wrap it up shortly, but I'll tell you, this is where it gets really impressive. His grandfather, George III, played 14 games in 1965 on the offensive line for the Boston Patriots of the American Football League. And his great-grandfather, George II, played 2 games with the Providence Steamroller of the NFL in 1931. That is a long family history. Right now, there is only one other NFL family that goes 3 generations deep, and that's Clay Matthews, and Clay Matthews.
Who can't seem to figure out quite how to sack anyone without picking up a personal foul with the new Fakakta roughing the passer play call, which has just been terrible. That's a short gain of 3 on 1st down to bring up 2nd down and 7 for Rosen. Thank goodness we haven't seen that body weight rule come to high school football, because that thing is a straight-up disgrace.
Now, I've mentioned all 3 of Milford High School's NFL alumni. There's one more, and I think you guys will get that pretty quickly.
What's that?
There's one more Milford High School alumni who played in the NFL, and you've got to know who that is, I bet. And we'll find out after the snap.
2nd down and 7 from the 15. Pyers looking for a spark for this Milford offense, rolling to his right, fires in that one through the hands of the intended target. And incomplete, intended for number 32, Hugo Lopes.
Any guesses for the other former Scarlet Hawk to be an NFL player?
I have nothing. I feel like I'm going to know when you say it.
You will. Howie Long.
Actually, I should have known that. I thought he went to Framingham for some reason. I know he's got the he's got the Chevy dealership in Framingham, I think.
Where was he from? Charleston or someplace?
Yeah.
Charleston. I thought he went to Framingham.
But
too.
he played his football at Milford High, and obviously the rest is history. He's carved out quite a nice career for himself, not only in football but in broadcasting, a few movies here and there.
And he also has some offspring in the NFL. Chris and Kyle right now, Chicago Bears and Philadelphia Eagles. Chris obviously spent some time with the Patriots, picked up a couple Super Bowls. Under pressure is Pyers on 3rd down, evades the pressure, but will be stopped short of 1st down yardage at about the 20-yard line, 2 yards shy, and it looks like the punt team will be on once again for Milford, and they just haven't been able to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball.
But to their credit, defensively, they stopped North on the North's 3rd possession and forced the punt.
It looks like they have some talent on this offense, but they just don't have any sort of rhythm, and they're not doing the little things well either. And outside of Pine, the offensive line has had its trouble with North Attleboro's front 7. So Lehane will punt with his heels at about the 9-yard line. The deep man for North looks like Ryan Gommond.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout here.
So they let the play clock rundown, and with that timeout, we will take this opportunity to shout out one of our sponsors for our athletic events. This is Asians Garage of 321 North Washington Street is proud to support quality local programming on North TV. Since 1919, Asians trained technicians have been servicing cars, vans, light trucks, and 4x4s. Asians is an enhanced emission safety inspection station for cars and motorcycles, and their fleet of tow trucks are ready to assist you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Smooth sailing so far through a quarter and a half for Donnie Johnson and the Red Rocketeers. Looking to move their record to 3-1 here at the end of the night.
He's got to be pleased, and the 3 penalties gives him something to talk about too. So it won't be all pats on the back during the next week of preparation.
Well, I know Don was concerned a little bit about Milford's speed, but they just haven't been able to use it. And I think that's where you see that North has more athletes out there.
So Lehane back to punt. Gauman stands at about the 40. You can see the respect he's giving Lahane's leg. High booming punt. Gauman waves for fair catch at the 38 and makes it under some pressure. So a nice punt there from Lehane to at least back North Attleboro back inside their own 40-yard line.
You know, that was a really nice job of fielding that punt, too.
Yep.
I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. Just ask Cyrus Jones, who just recently returned to the Patriots after a little quick trip to the Baltimore Ravens practice squad. He had so much trouble with that in his past 2 years with the Patriots. It was just it's a very difficult thing, although Belichick said in one of his recent press conferences he thought he could catch punts. I'd like to see that myself, but
Riley McCarron as well. You could ask him. That gave him pretty much his walking papers after week 1. So it's not an easy job, especially when you've got a couple gunners bearing down on you with a full head of steam. If you make any mistake, they're going to clean you out. So first down and 10, ball at about the 39-yard line. Tight formation, 4 receivers in the set. Ranieri back on the field. This is a give to McHugh off the right side. Blockers are there. We've got another flag, and that's a nice tackle. A low, hard tackle from Maxwell Martin.
That might be an illegal block there.
It will be a pickup of 3 if this isn't against North Attleboro, but it will be holding against the Red Rocketeers. Their 4th infraction on a blocking play. So they'll walk this off the 10 yards from 3 yards downfield. So it will be first down and 17 for North. That was a hefty tackle on McHugh. Going low there was Martin.
You know he felt that one.
4 minutes and counting in the second quarter.
These spot fouls completely mess me up when I'm trying to do stats these days. I have to remember he did get credit for a 5-yard gain on that, and the ball's marked off 10 from where he went down, from where the flag was thrown.
So first down, 17 for Ranieri. They spread the formation. He keeps it up the middle. He's got space off the right side. He's got a first down across midfield. And Ranieri picks up 20 on first down and 17 and moves the chains.
You get tired of saying what a good player he is, but what a good player he is.
Yeah, and give a lot of credit to the North offensive line in this game. The line, I don't think I've called the Milford linebackers number this entire game. They have been totally taken out at the second level. So they're not only blocking the defensive line, they're able to pull guards through. The running backs are blocking, receivers are blocking downfield. They're just totally controlling Milford's defense right now. So first down and 10. Ball at the 47. Pistol formation, McHugh straight behind Ranieri. Give off the right-hand side. And stacked up after picking up 1 is McHugh brings up second down and 9. One of the shorter running attempts of the game so far.
Oh, there was a linebacker there. Luke Rosa, number 33 for Milford, laid the final hit on him and put him down. But like you said, you're not hearing very much from them tonight at all.
And I like that call. Their bread and butter is going wide, but you jam it in there a couple of times. You pull everyone in and you open up some room on the outside.
Ranieri and the offense come to the line with 2:42 and counting left in the quarter. They'd love to score here, and they do have choice, and they will receive in the third. Ranieri, play action, dumps it off in the flat to Boyle. He's got space, picks up the first down, and is knocked out of bounds on the near side by Martin. picks up the first, and the drive continues, and more importantly, the clock stops at 2:28.
What a nice addition to this attack. He's got such good speed.
And he's a guy who's come in cleanup duty the last couple of years. I remember him coming in some of the games where North was up 20, 21, 28 points, getting some touches, and no jitters when you come out and you've already played under the lights, and now he's a bigger part of this offense.
Yeah. Unless I missed something early, has Ranieri thrown an incompletion yet? I have him at 6 for 6, but I may have missed a play earlier too.
I think he had one incompletion as Ranieri drops back again, has a man open, and he overshoots.
You got what you wish for, Mark.
And now he does absolutely have an incompletion there as that one goes wide. I think on the first drive of the game he went incomplete looking for James as well.
I think I'm going to tell Coach Johnson Mark called for an incompletion, and we got it.
Well, I mean, it would have been nice to see Jonathan James make an OBJ catch, but I didn't think that was going to happen. I think it was out of bounds anyway, right?
Yeah, not on that one.
There's a future Red Rocketeer. Not at all paying attention to the game. So second down and 10 after the incompletion to James. Again, I have to say, though, James was wide open, and this Milford defense is really struggling to stop just about anything right now that North is throwing at them.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is they have no idea what's coming.
Yeah. And we're going to reset the game clock to 2:16. And we're set back on the field.
Referee had a nice deep voice.
McHugh comes in motion, late snap. It actually ended up in the gut of McHugh there. The timing of that play was all sorts of off. Luckily, Ranieri was able to get down on top of it. It will be a loss of 6, and it brings up 3rd down and 15. That was supposed to go directly to Ranieri, and then he was going to put it in McHugh's gut. But it actually ended up hitting McHugh on his way by. So crisis averted there at the end of the quarter. 3rd and long, and we get a timeout called by Milford's coach, Anthony Vizakis.
An interesting play, wouldn't it, to just snap it to the guy running in front of the quarterback on purpose?
I've seen that before, and during this stoppage, chance to shout out our other sponsor for this game. Nearly 150 years ago, William H. Riley and his son Elmer started providing coal, straw, and other heating supplies to the people of North Attleboro. W.H. Riley and Son is still owned by the same family, but now delivers oil and propane and services your heating and air conditioner. Today, like then, you can rely on W.H. Riley for all your heating and cooling needs.
And just remember, folks, when winter comes, always dig out the area where your fueling nozzle is out there, because that's always nice for them who have to come and deliver. I do that all the time for the folks at W.H. Riley and Sons.
Mark, that was so nice of you to say.
I always like to give due props to those who do good service.
I think we're going to need them up here in the press box as we get later into the year. There's no heating system like there was at Community Field. Ranieri out of the gun, looking for Gauman, who's streaking open, hits him in stride,
Absolutely.
And it's 20-0. The touchdown for Gauman is his 4th of the year.
That's what this kid is bringing to the offense right now. He can get out there. He can either catch the ball in traffic, or if he gets a little bit of space, he can separate.
Too bad we can't see the route, but
Nice job there.
Wide open.
Nice job there by Ranieri, hanging in the pocket, delivering to Gauman, who just pulled away from Martin, who looked totally lost in coverage. 20-0, extra point on the way, and more importantly, the score. And if they can get the stop here, they'll get the ball back to start the 3rd quarter. Extra point is up. Extra point is good from DiMatteo. 21-0, North Attleboro out in front and in charge over Milford. You'll see Gauman at the bottom of the formation. Ranieri here steps up in the pocket, sets his feet, delivers under pressure, right in stride. Simple pitch and catch there for North, gives them their 3rd score of the game. Again,
6 points and no one touched you.
Gauman's 4th TD catch of the year.
7 plays, 61 yards, 240 off the clock for that. And I believe that was, what, a 41-yard touchdown play?
Looked about right there, yeah. Especially after being moved back, 3rd down and long. That's a backbreaker for Milford.
Ryan Gorman is making a huge impact for this team now, and that's, I think, one element that will take the Red Rocketeers up to the next level that they want as they get into the rest of their Davenport Division's schedule. It's very important right now that they do a few more things against some of the good teams that are going to be coming up down the road.
DiMatteo will try to angle this away from Feaster, who has shown explosiveness on these kickoff returns. He had one that he brought to the 40-yard line, and at the end of the quarter, they're going to angle this short. It will bounce at the 20. Feaster will scoop this up down the right sideline, dives across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. So they did a nice job of penning him up after picking up a couple on the return.
Outside of that one return of his, you really haven't heard his name much tonight either.
No.
Now they've been behind, or they fell behind so early that they've been frequently looking to get their passing game going. They haven't really tried to establish the run at all.
At 21-0 too right now, it's even harder for them to try to commit to anything other than trying to get the ball into the end zone as fast as they can.
We'll see the 2-minute drill here from Colby Pyers. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. Feaster is in the slot nearest the left tackle. Quick throw for Pyers, nearly intercepted by Labonte, and he would have been going the other way for 6.
Boy, did he read that play?
Yes, he did. He jumped that play very nicely. Almost could have gotten that ball, but a little bit out of his reach. That would have been 6.
Oh.
So 2nd down and 10. Pyers is thanking his lucky stars that his team's not down 27-0 after that throw. Same formation, 3 receivers to the bottom of the set. 1 formation to the top of the screen. Pyers is going to give it up the middle to Rosa. Rosa bursts across the 35-yard line to the 37, picks up 4, and it's quickly 3rd down and 6 for Milford.
North might get the ball back.
I was going to say, if Milford keeps moving at this pace, North might get the ball back and a chance to make it 28-0 before the end of the half, and they are getting the ball to start the 3rd. So
Coach Johnson didn't stop the clock, up 21-0. It's a good move.
3rd down for Pyers in the Milford offense, taking their time to get set. Pyers looking left, comes back to the right side of the formation, completes the pass. The first man misses the tackle, and Sean Lahane picks up the 1st down. Feels like the first down in quite some time for Milford. They move the chains. The clock continues to will start to run once they set the down and distance marker. Under a minute left for Pyers. This time looking to the left side of the formation. He completes the short pass to Danny Farrell, but he is slung down after picking up 4. 2nd down and 6, and a very quick timeout called by Coach Vizakis.
Nice wrap-up tackle by Brendan McHugh on that.
Yep.
That timeout feels like they might be trying to position themselves for a long Lahane field goal at the end of the first half.
Donnie Johnson told me that this kid attempted a 61-yard field goal against Canton a few weeks ago and almost made it. He's apparently got one heck of a leg.
That's the first thing I noticed in pregame. He took one kick attempt that almost went into the woods from about 20 yards on the field. I said, this guy is a weapon for Milford. We'll see if they can get him into range. That'd be an exciting end of the quarter.
Sure
I'd like to
would.
see a 61-yarder. Under pressure is Pyers, steps up in the pocket, and he's going to be wrapped up at the original line of scrimmage. He loses 4, and it's 3rd down and 10. No time on this play for Pyers. The pocket collapsed instantly.
Yep.
And a timeout with 21 seconds left in the quarter.
26 seconds when the play ended. They took 5 seconds to call the timeout.
Well, right now it would be a 72-yard field goal, so I don't actually think that's going to happen.
No.
Pyers has had no time to let any sort of passing play develop other than those quick hitters to the sidelines.
Well, let's just put it this way. If it does happen, you'd have NFL people here tomorrow with contracts in hand ready to get this kid into the league.
Seen a lot of the pros missing the chip shot extra point. They're not really the chip shots anymore, but still. Pyers out of the gun, 3rd and 10. Red Rocketeers bringing the heat. That pass is going to be broken up. Intended for number 4, Brendan White. Great defense there from Brian Engler getting his hand on that one.
Well, you figure the goalposts in the NFL are much narrower too, so you play all that out, and that's too much for the young men this age. They still got some physical development and mental development to go.
Which is another unfortunate aspect of, I mean, I'm very much a fan of the high school Super Bowls being at Gillette Stadium, which they are again this year, by the way. But they don't change the goalpost to fit the high school width.
Nope.
So makes it tough. There have been missed field goals in Super Bowls that probably they should have given them the 3 points on it.
Low snap, bounced into the arms of Lehane.
Oh,
Booms this one inside the 20, and that's going to be a fair catch by Jared Penta at the 15-yard line. 8 seconds left, and I think North is just going to let the clock run out after this next play and head into the halftime interval with a 21-0 lead. And it's been a pretty solid first half. There have been some mistakes, a couple penalties. More importantly,
if I were Donnie Johnson right now, that'd be the one thing I'd want to clean up. They've had what is it, 4? I think 4 holding or similar penalties, illegal use of hands, things like that. They really should clean that up. They're going into just kneeling right now.
And that's Matt Penta on to take the knee, and that will be the end of the first half. North Attleboro, 3 touchdowns over the first 2 quarters, 21-0, on their way to another Hockomock League W. We'll see how the final 22 minutes play out here on North TV. But at the half, the Red Rocketeers up 21-0 over the Scarlet Hawks of Milford.
Asians Garage, 321 North Washington Street, is proud to support quality local programming on North TV. Since 1919, Asians trained technicians have been servicing cars, vans, light trucks, and 4x4s. Asians is an enhanced emission safety inspection station for cars and motorcycles, and their fleet of tow trucks is ready to assist you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Halftime report here from Beaupre Field. North Attleboro up 21-0 over Milford after a dominating first half of play. And it started on the first drive of the game. Nick Ranieri goes in from 1 yard out to open up the scoring. Made it 6-0. The extra point made it 7 from DiMatteo, who's been perfect so far on the night. Second touchdown of the game, the play action pass into the back of the end zone to Ethan Freiberg on the next possession after picking up the fumble at midfield. North Attleboro drove down and made it 14-0 over the Red Hawks. And the longest touchdown of the game so far is the touchdown strike here from Ranieri to Gauman. His second touchdown pass of the game, his third overall in this first half. So pretty solid first half for Nick Ranieri and the Red Rocketeers. Offense and the defense looking good as well, pitching the shutout right now against the Red Hawks. We'll see if Milford can get on the score sheet in the second or if North will continue to dominate this Hockomock League matchup. We'll be back with second half action in just a moment here on North TV.
Nearly 150 years ago, William H. Riley and his son Elmer started providing coal, straw, and other heating supplies to the people of North Attleboro. W.H. Riley and Son is still owned by the same family, but now delivers oil and propane as well as services to your heating system and air conditioner. Today, like then, you can rely on W.H. Riley for all your heating and cooling needs.
Asians Garage, 321 North Washington Street, is proud to support quality local programming on North TV. Since 1919, Asians trained technicians have been servicing cars, vans, light trucks, and 4x4s. Asians is an enhanced emission safety inspection station for cars and motorcycles, and their fleet of tow trucks is ready to assist you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
If you keep tanning, indoors or out, the effects of harmful rays will show up on your skin. Wrinkles, age spots, and an increased risk of melanoma, the second most common cancer in women 15 to 29. Stop tanning. Time may not be on your side. Learn how to protect your skin at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Second half kickoff from Sean Lahane, excuse me, about to be put into play. North will return. They've got the 21-0 lead. Ryan Gauman is the deep man for North Attleboro.
I can't wait to see this kickoff.
Yeah, this will be the first time we see him on kickoff duty, and he drives this one to about the 7-yard line. Gauman's going to be wrapped up by the first man, thrown down at the 19-yard line, and that's where the offense will take over for the Red Rocketeers.
It'll be interesting to see how many of the starters we do see start to have their evenings curtailed at this point. But first half, Ryan Boyle was your leading rusher for the Red Rocketeers. I had him 4 carries for 63 yards. Ranieri 6 for 38, and McHugh had 4 for 20. The star of the game so far in my book is Ryan Gauman. 3 catches for 71 yards. And a nice passing attack too right now going there. I mean, you have 4 other guys with at least 1 reception, so it's been effective.
North takes over at right about the 20-yard line. The give off the left side to McHugh, cuts up the middle, stiff arms one man. He's got open space, and he's going to go the way. This looks like an 80-yard touchdown run for Brendan McHugh, and he picks up his first touchdown of the game. He had 2 called back in to start the third quarter. The home run shot gives North the 27-0 lead.
And like I said, this could be the last you see of the starters in this game.
Yeah, heck of a run. Nice, but that cut, he has a great knack of cutting the ball inside his intended blocking angle. Boy, when he gets in daylight, forget it.
Yeah, he's going to win that foot race every time. There is a Milford Scarlet Hawk down at the goal line. Looks like that's number 22, Max Martin, who was selling out to try and catch McHugh there. Might have pulled a muscle.
I was going to say it took quite a while for anybody to notice he was down too.
Yeah, watch it. He's going to dive and...
Yeah, the contact there on the... Looked like he slid like 4 yards once he dove there.
Yeah. Hopefully he just knocked the wind out of himself, something simple that he'll rebound from.
80-yard touchdown run to start the quarter, and talked about backbreakers for Milford. That looks like that will be it.
Soft as these new turf fields are, it still doesn't have the give that a grass field has, and that's the one thing you will bounce a little bit off it.
Yeah.
But it's not like the old days, and I recall very, very vividly the original what they called the super turf surface at the old Schaefer Stadium. They first started having the Super Bowls there a long time ago, and I remember Mansfield High was playing Lincoln Sudbury in one. They had practice sessions, and I think this would be about 1984, 85, somewhere around there. They had practice sessions on the field, and it was December, cold, the field was frozen, and you could hear them running up and down the field from a distance as if they were running on plywood, except what they were running on was a frozen mat on top of concrete. So I'm so glad that they've made such progress in these turf fields ever since. A lot of kids took a lot of beatings on those early fields, and a lot of players. I mean, classic example, one of Attleboro High's finest athletes of the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s, was a tight end, Dave Hart. He was drafted by the Patriots out of Kentucky as a tight end. He plays in his first NFL game, a preseason game, against the Giants, the opening game of Schaefer Stadium, and on the opening kickoff, he blows out his knee, and he never played again.
One of the hazards of those old turf fields, and knee injuries were prevalent.
These fields hold up well, but you get up around that 10th, 11th year, they say somewhere between 10 and 15 years, but if you're using it for every sport, around the 11th or 12th year, these toughen up.
DiMattio's extra point effort is up. And it is good. He's 4 for 4 on the night on PATs, and North is up 28-0. And we talked about the North Attleboro backups. I'm sure some of these junior varsity players are preparing themselves to get on the field here in the third quarter at some point. And we'll see some of the faces of the future on the field, maybe next year, the year after, getting considerably more minutes for the Red Rocketeers.
Most coaches kind of have that gentleman's agreement that in a case of a game that's building up to be a blowout, you put your starters out for the first series, maybe even the second series of the second half. Give them a little bit more work before you set them down for the night. But right now, like you said, we're at 28-0. This could be as good a time as any to see some of these other kids getting some action.
Feaster is the deep man. DiMatteo will kick off for the Red Rocketeers.
But keep in mind, we still got 2 full quarters. That only took 19 seconds.
Yeah, 10:41 left in the third quarter. North very much in control of this game, and they've been so since the first time they touched the football. DiMatteo, low driven kick, fielded by the up man who goes straight down. Looks like number 10, Xavier Hamilton. Didn't even try to return that. Smartly, probably not used to carrying the football.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a designed dribble kick. I think he just didn't hit it right. And actually, it's kind of good for Milford. It gives them a little bit better field position. It doesn't really look to me, although I've been wrong before, that they're going to mount a 5 touchdown comeback. So
if they're going to need to strike quickly on this drive. Pyers leading the ship, and they're having some personnel issues. Very late onto the field was Hugo Lopez. He had to get the play out over by the slot. Feaster comes in motion. As this might be his first carry of the game. Driven towards the sideline, he dives forward for a 1-yard gain. 2nd down and 9.
I notice they're still mostly the North Attleboro first-string defense. So, again, it's that whole idea. You got to get the kids some work.
Yep.
This would be the second straight week that they wouldn't have much work in the second half. And they're playing Foxborough next week. It's not the greatest Foxborough team around as compared to their past, but it's always a huge challenge, and it's over there next week. So they want these kids fresh to know what they're going to be able to do.
Pyers out of the pistol. Turned the wrong way. He's going to have to keep it himself, and he's going to be dropped after losing a couple. Looks like it'll be 3rd down and 10, and completely on the wrong page there. Turned and no one home. Yep. So had to tuck it himself, and he was in trouble.
Yeah. No one home, like you said.
So not the start offensively to this third quarter that Milford was looking for, especially after giving up the 80-yard touchdown.
It probably doesn't show up on the screen, but there's a fine little mist in the air right now. It's kind of got that really nice football season type of look out there.
Is it scented?
Pyers flushed out of the pocket. Pump fakes around 1, tucks it down, looking for the first down marker. Depends on where he stepped out.
I don't think he got there, but I could be wrong.
It's going to be very close to midfield, which was the line to gain, and they will mark it enough for the first down. So Pyers scrambles for another first down. Again, the pressure, though, he has absolutely no time to set up in the pocket. But he did enough there to pick up the first down, move the chains, which is a small victory for the Scarlet Hawks.
Still some fight in them.
Get a drive going here. 2 receivers come to the bottom of the formation. Feaster as well as Sean Lahane, 2 to the top of the formation on the Milford side of the field. They're going to give this to the second man through. Rosa stacked up in the backfield by multiple Red Rocketeers. That's a loss of 4.
Yeah.
It's second down and 14.
Clementi was the first one there, and he kind of bounced off him, but he just looked at him and said, oh, my goodness, this guy's bearing down on me. And so there was a quick bounce, and he wasn't going to go any further after that.
Yeah, that was Pine going for the cut block there, and Clementi did a nice job completely evading the contact, and he made the play in the backfield. We mentioned that matchup on the outside, the junior Pine for Milford and Ryan Clemente, the senior for North Attleboro. Distinct advantage to this point in favor of North's Ryan Clemente.
Yeah. Guilford, not much of a hurry given the score.
Pyers waiting for the snap out of the gun. Second down and long. Straight drop. Steps into the throw, looking for Feaster, and Feaster makes the catch at the 30, breaks a tackle, tiptoes down the sideline, and he'll walk into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game for the Scarlet Hawks. A 54-yard touchdown pass from Colby Pyers to Chappelle Feaster, and it's 28-6.
Go ahead, Dale.
What's the body control that allowed him to stay in bounds after this catch? Sorry, Mark.
No, that's all right. I feel a little bit bad for Gowland on this. I think he feels he had a chance to knock the ball loose, and he just slipped by him. This kid's got speed, though. I mean, you're against their best right there, so I wouldn't feel too badly.
That might not have been Garmin.
Was it 28?
I thought it was number 20.
Oh.
Lehane very late onto the field. He did much better than I think it was Purdue's kicker last week who didn't go on the field. They almost snapped it to the holder with no kicker in the formation. He was still warming up off on the sideline.
Let's see if this ball gets lost into the night.
And Lehane drives that one
well out of here
into the long jump pit.
At least it's still in the ballpark.
That kick can kick.
And here's another look at the 54-yard touchdown pass from Pyers to Feaster. The catch, and Dell, you mentioned, watch him tightrope the sideline right there.
Just great body control.
And then he never took it out of second gear. No one around him. So we talked about the athleticism of Feaster, saw it on display there. And the lead back down to 21. Still 8:08 left in the third quarter.
Well, we talked about how if they were going to do anything, they had to score fast.
Yep.
And this may keep the Red Rocketeer first-string offense on the field for another series. We'll see. Not sure, but
yeah, I think with the 21-point lead, we still might see the first-string offense for a couple more possessions, especially with it being so early here in the third quarter. Lehane will kick off for the Scarlet Knights. Their 26th point of the season. Scored 7 against Attleboro in week 1. They were shut out in week 2. And they lost by 2 points last week to Canton, 14-12. Gauman on the return, and he's dragged down from behind at the 20-yard line.
Yep.
Tackle made there by Matt Shaver, one of the seniors on the roster. So this is where they picked up their drive to start the third quarter, and they went 80 yards on the first play. We'll see if they can match that, as you'll get a good look at the tackle made here by Shaver. Good special teams play. Needs to be careful that that hand doesn't get inside the back of the shoulder pads, or we've seen a horse collar call. 15-yard penalty. So the first string offense still on the field for the Red Rocketeers. Ranieri's going to keep it up the middle, untouched, about 8 yards downfield before running into the first Scarlet Hawk. He gets to about the 30-yard line, is a yard shy, a 9-yard gain on first. And he's not touched until he's about 8 yards downfield. Right there is the first point of contact. Again, North Attleboro's offensive line doing a great job manhandling the front seven of Milford.
They've got a fairly, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
They've got a fairly big kid in the middle there. There's Dominic Stahlbaum. He looks bigger than 5'11" is what they list him at, but he's got some bulk on him. But they've been just pushing them right out of the way.
This is stark contrast to that game against Feehan, where Feehan's defensive line was getting great penetration. This is a carry off the left-hand side, enough for the first down by Andy DiMatteo. So North moves the chains once again, and Milford's not going to be able to come back in this one if they can't slow down the Red Rocketeers' offense.
Interesting thing is you bring some of the non-starters in, and there's not that much of a drop-off.
Yep. Yeah, that was DiMatteo's first carry of the game. Seems like that slot running back position they've been able to just replace year in and year out. It's been a conveyor belt of guys, all with a similar build and type. Nick Rajat a couple years ago. We've seen McHugh have success the last couple of seasons. This is McHugh off the left-hand side with a full head of steam. Dives across the 40 to about the 44-yard line. Picks up 8, second down and 2. Again, look at Clemente pulling right there. He gets a good lead block. There was a huge hole to run through to begin with.
He's a special lineman.
Yeah, these second-level blocks right now for North Attleboro are just – we saw the 80-yard touchdown. We've seen some long runs before that in the first half, and they're getting their offensive line to the second level, and the running backs are patient enough. And here's McHugh off the right side. He's got a first down and doesn't quite make it to midfield, but does move the chains again. Ball spotted at about the 49-yard line.
Well, this is very effective. I mean, look at the carries so far: 9 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 5 yards. They're moving the ball. They're killing the clock. This is what you want to do in a game like this. You don't have. They're not going to be too many more throws going on in this night.
No.
That's exactly what you want to see if you're the North Attleboro coaching staff. That's a sign that your front seven is winning the battle and your running backs are taking advantage of that. This will be a keeper by Ranieri up the middle and hit at the line of scrimmage, still able to find 3 yards on the pickup. Second down and 7. And breaks an arm tackle right here in the backfield before being driven down by Brendan White, who has been around the football a decent amount for Milford. Unfortunately, he's played a little bit of safety, a little bit of corner, kind of an off linebacker. So if he's the first guy around the ball for Milford, that means North is picking up 4 or 5 yards of carry.
Yep.
Second down for North. Pistol formation. McHugh is the eye back. They're going to give it to him off the left side. Clementi's pulling. McHugh breaks a tackle, reverses field, and needing to make the tackle there was Carter Scudo. McHugh picks up the first down, but almost scored one of the better-looking touchdown runs we would have seen all year.
Boy, that Clementi is a road grader in front of him, isn't he?
He sure is.
And watch this balance here from McHugh and the field awareness to bounce back inside. Scudo and White combined for the tackle on McHugh, who's having himself a nice night on the ground. He was very quiet in the Bishop Feian game, but had a great week 1 against King Philip. He scored the touchdown to give them the W there and putting together another solid performance on the ground. This is Boyle up the middle. They're going to hand it off to him very late, and that play never had a chance. Brendan White was in the backfield almost instantly, and North will lose 3 yards to bring up second down and 13.
Yeah, White did a very good job of scoping that one out.
Yeah, and that was actually played pretty well on the edge by number 33, Luke Rosa, who was the read there for Ranieri. And kind of just read Ranieri nicely. Didn't give him a good look at what he was doing, and Ranieri at the last second wanted to pull it as Rosa was crashing there, but left it in the gut of Boyle.
It's one of the few negative plays tonight.
Second down and 13. One of the few times they've been behind the chains without picking up a penalty. This is going to be a give to Andy DiMatteo, very patiently working off the left side. Feaster spins him backwards, and we'll wait and see where they spot him. But after the big loss on first down, an even bigger loss on second down, they're going to move back to about the 48-yard line. That's a loss of 11. That will bring up third down and about 25.
Oh, they'll pull out that third and 27-yard play.
And this will either be, my guess would be the receiver screen or the Ranieri run up the middle and send the punt unit onto the field, which is a small victory for Milford. Again, they're going to need stops. So third down, 25, Ranieri out of the gun. McHugh comes in motion. Ranieri, play action. Looking down the right sideline has Omar Jassa, and that's going to be incomplete, and they're bailed out.
Yep.
Pass interference call will give them the first down.
Yeah, he got bumped right there at the moment where he pulled up because the ball was going to be underthrown a little bit. Now, of course, that's only a 15-yard penalty in high school.
But first down?
It is a first down. If indeed they do call it, and they are calling it against Milford.
Yeah, this was underthrown, and then the defender there that looks like Max Martin just runs straight into Jassa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he got hit twice on that play.
Actually, that was 32, Hugo Lopes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have two great defensive plays, a chance to get off the field and make the mistake there, and you bail out North Attleboro. They get the fresh set of downs, and now your defense has to go back out there and try to restop North Attleboro's offense.
And even more important than the points here, watching that clock tick off right now. Almost 6 minutes already.
I think that was the first penalty of the game against Milford as well. That is a tough one there for the Scarlet Hawks. Give to Boyle up the middle, and he's going to pick up positive yards. Picks up about 4 before his forward progress was stopped, so it will be a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
He's had a nice little game, and he's definitely continuing what he showed against Sharon. A real increase in his participation, some positive gains. Donnie Johnson figures let's keep with it, and it's obviously working. He's having a nice game.
North Attleboro Drive eating up a lot of clock here in the third quarter. They got the ball back with about 8 minutes left in the quarter. They've taken it down under 2. They keep it on the ground, and McHugh off the left side, cuts back infield, reverses his direction, picks up the first down, gets inside the 25 to the 24, picks up the first down for North.
Such a smart runner. Always got his eyes up, follows his blockers, but then makes the right cut.
And I'm wondering if he's figured out that he's actually made that move a couple of times already, and I think he's figured out that either there's some way in the way they're pursuing him, the way they commit to a play, that he knows to cut back against the grain, and he's got extra yards.
Some of those backside defenders might fall asleep with the ball going away from them. So first down and 10, ball at about the 24-yard line. 1:03 and counting in the third quarter. Ranieri will keep it off the right side, gets to the corner inside the 20, looking for the first down marker, and is driven out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Be a pickup of about 9, 2nd down and 1 for North. And this time Ranieri showing his ability to run outside the tackle box there. Seen him a lot, especially going back to last year, pounding teams up the middle.
I'll tell you, they're doing a very nice job of killing this third quarter off.
Yeah, 54 seconds left in the quarter. The clock stops with him going out of bounds. Ranieri has contributed to all 3 touchdowns, ran in the first, 2 touchdown passes, 1 in the first quarter, 1 in the second. Looking to his left, looking for Labonte, who was running before he caught it. There was no whistle there. Was that a backwards lateral? No, they're going to say that was a forward pass.
Yeah, I thought it was a forward pass. Close, but it was almost the old Statue of Liberty play. It looked like.
Threw from right on the marker to
right from the point. He didn't move at all from where he got the snap, and just holding the ball up there, and then.
Yeah, you could see there Labonte gave a look. He had to beat one defender if he caught that to get into the end zone, and he was thinking about the move he was going to make before he hauled that one in.
That could have been 6.
44 seconds left in the quarter. Labonte goes back to the slot. He's going to be covered by Ryan Pearl. Ranieri takes it off the left-hand side, runs through one tackler, keeps his legs churning, is stacked up by the rest of the Milford defense.
Let's see where they give him the forward progress to.
Yeah, this is going to be very close to the 9-yard line.
I think he got the first down.
Yep, there's the late signal. He picks up enough for the first down. The chains move. We're under 30 seconds. Clock will restart at 26 once they get the down and distance marker set. Excuse me, the line of gain was the 14-yard line, so they have enough to pick up another first down. Tight formation here inside the red zone for North. Lone man in the backfield is McHugh. Ranieri off the left side. Dragged down after picking up about 1. And that is the final play of the third quarter. North Attleboro will start the fourth inside the red zone, looking for touchdown number 5 on the afternoon. They're up 28-7 here on North TV. W.H. Riley & Son, with locations in North Attleboro and Taunton, is proud to support quality local programming on North TV. If you're dissatisfied with your heating oil and propane company, W.H. Riley & Son is your answer. For home heating, oil, and propane, you can depend on W.H. Riley & Son since 1873, a family-run business delivering prompt and 24-hour service you and your family deserve.
Today, Eric Almirola behind the wheel in that 43 car.
We all have a role to play here at Richard Petty Motorsports. We respect each other, work hard, and that helped us get the big win in Daytona. My partners in the U.S. Air Force also know that it takes a team to make each mission a success. Your coworkers, family, and friends are your team. Treat them with respect, and together you can accomplish great things. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
28-7 here at Beaupre Field. North takes over, or will continue their drive. 2nd down and 9 inside the red zone. Ball spotted at about the 12-yard line. Looking for another touchdown against a Milford team that is still looking for their first win of the year. And if things continue at this rate, they're going to be looking for that next week at Sharon. They still have Foxborough and Stoughton on their schedule. Off the right-hand side, McHugh looking for a second touchdown run of the game, and he does find the end zone. 34-0, North with the big lead over Milford. 2 touchdown runs there for McHugh. Had 1 or 2 touchdowns called back as well in this game. Very easily could have 3 or 4 touchdowns in this one.
Good speed to the point of contact, but then he lowered his head and absorbed the contact. He wasn't trying to avoid anything.
Still a solid evening for him on the ground. DiMatteo on for the extra point. The freshman has been solid on these PATs and as well in the regular kicking game as well. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it is 35-7 here at Beaupre Field.
He's been a very nice find for the Red Rocketeers. A freshman kicker, 3 more years of being able to hone his skill. Who knows what the future may hold. 15 plays, 79 yards, and marvelously 8 minutes and 7 seconds taken off the clock in that drive. And now we are at 10:53 left in the contest, and I think at this point, I think you will definitely see a lot of new faces in this game.
Yeah, a lot of the junior varsity guys should get some reps here in the 4th quarter. The starters will stay on for Milford. Feaster will be the deep man. Yeah, they're going to try to keep it away from him. The offense has been a problem for Milford this season. We mentioned a couple times just the 19 points scored. North has scored 75 points so far this year. They've given up now 51 points after the 7 points they gave up so far in this one. Defense usually a staple of North Attleboro. This will be Feaster able to return from about the 16-yard line. He's got a lot of space, makes the kicker miss. The Red Rocketeers looking to drag him down, but the biggest play of the game, or one of the biggest plays of the game, is the long kick return from Chappelle Feaster. If they could some way find a way to get this guy the ball in space, I mean, he can really make some things happen. He had one long kick return to the 40, another long one there. He had the 54-yard touchdown catch as well. So
he made people miss, and then he carried about 4 or 5 people with him for the last 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who should be touching the ball 15 minimum times a game if you're Milford, and he's been nowhere near that in this one. And that's a big second guess from my vantage point.
Well, I think a legitimate one. You can see his effectiveness as a receiver. You see the kickoff. That translates to a running back. He's got the ability to score from so many different ways, and with that place kicker.
Pyers out of the gun. Looking down the seam, this is Feaster. He's open in front of Engler, turning on the afterburners, and he's got another touchdown catch. And he's pretty close to 100 total yards of receiving. That one went 43 yards. And 2 touchdowns for Chappelle Feaster, 2 touchdowns for Milford, and this is their biggest offensive outburst of the season.
Well, Donnie Johnson had told me during the middle of the week that he saw this kid as one of the biggest threats they faced in this game. But they were containing him in the backfield. He was hardly even touching the ball in the backfield, like you mentioned. But getting out there in some space as a receiver, he certainly has done some damage.
Lehane on to kick the extra point. High snap, able to get it down, and this kick is up and good.
Well, Milford scored 19 points in 3 games coming in, and now they just hit their 14th point. So, they're on the short end of the scoreboard, but they got to feel good about it.
And that was a solid throw there from Pyers. Good timing route. Little post route right from the slot. And I mean, that was a pretty easy pitch and catch there for them to get on the score sheet. So a couple nice throws there from Pyers, which we expected in warm-ups. I really like his throwing motion, pretty compact.
But almost 100 yards on 2 throws to this young man for 2 touchdowns.
You know, I agree, Del, with what you said, too. This is a very positive thing for them, especially since they have Sharon at home next Friday. And I would think that there's a very good possibility for them to pull off their first win of the year.
If they can build off this performance, they've got, you mentioned Sharon next week, Foxborough after that, Stoughton to close out the regular season. If they could get to 3-4, they were 3-4 last year and made the postseason. So the playoffs not out of the question if they can figure out their offense. That's a booming kick to about the goal line that Gottman's going to have to field. Makes the first man miss, breaks another tackle, and is finally driven down at about the 22-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like we're still going to see a lot of the first stringers out there. I'm seeing them move over here and getting ready to go out.
Well, I know when I coached, I always told the starters when we had a game where it looked like we may be able to play the backups, I'm not taking them out I'm not taking you out just to put them in. You get this game under control so they can play and relax. And I'm not so sure he feels North has done that. Particularly of late.
Well, especially with the 2 very quick scores that Milford has put up here, I think that this is kind of a reminder that they should really execute at this point.
Exactly.
Ranieri will keep it off the left side, and he's stacked up as he spins across the 25-yard line. Picks up 3 yards on first down, 2nd down and 7. The problem is they are really struggling to stop North's running game, and we mentioned they ate up 8 minutes of clock on their last touchdown drive, and if they do that, this one will be all but over.
But Mark said wondrously ate up 8 minutes.
No, marvelously.
Yeah,
marvelously
ate up 8 minutes.
Wonderfully. I should have said. It's a work in progress, guys.
You're seeing the fall weather. You can see the players' breaths out of the huddle steaming up. So you know it's starting to get crossing over to October. McHugh carries off the right-hand side. He's close to picking up the first down, pushed out of bounds at about the 34-yard line.
As long as Milford can't stop it, you keep going with it. And I think that's definitely the idea. You win this game right now by time of possession more than anything else. Not to mention the 35 points that are on the scoreboard. But
and very late there, they signal that McHugh picks up the first down. So the chains turn over. 9.5 minutes left in the fourth. Yeah, North has just been picking up 6, 7, 8 yards at will on the ground.
Yeah. You know, when that happens, you got to give kudos to that offensive line.
McHugh comes in motion. Ranieri keeps it himself, and he is wrapped up and thrown down in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of 2. 2nd down and 12. That was a nice job penetrating the backfield by Dom Schofield.
Also, as you can see, they tried to fake the handoff there. I think that kind of slowed things up a little bit. I don't think it was as smooth as they would have liked it to have been. But the clock keeps ticking.
Yep. Well, you know, North's going to win this game, but I think Milford's going to go home feeling pretty darn good about their effort tonight. And maybe they've discovered a few things about their team that will help them as the season continues.
You know, you don't give up that pass interference call, which gives the free first down, which leads to the touchdown in the end of the third quarter.
That was huge.
This one might be 28-14, so they're definitely building blocks, but they're going to have to really put things together up front on both sides of the ball. Ranieri into the second level, into the third level, still breaking tackles, picks up the first down, is thrown down at the 44-yard line, and that right there is a prime example of what Milford needs to work on, tackling.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. He is just too big, too strong to take down with an arm tackle. You have got to wrap him up, and that's what finally happened. They went high on him and brought him down, but you could just see him just shedding guys all the way through.
I can see Milford now working on how to tackle a 216-pound battering ramp who relishes contact and plays quarterback.
Well, they're not going to have to deal with Ranieri on this play as Matt Penta comes back in at quarterback for North. McHugh comes in motion, so more reps with the first-team offense for Penta. McHugh patiently looking for the corner, and he's wrapped up by Feaster. Will be a loss of 2, second down and 12.
If there's a kid on the field that has the speed to cut off that stuff on the outside, it is Feaster.
Yep.
Yeah, he plays this beautifully. Watch him take on the block,
and he
rides it, sheds it, makes the tackle. That's a great play by one of your cornerbacks right there.
He's legit.
He's a nice player. 7.5 minutes left in the quarter. North taking their time in between plays as Penta gets the signal. And he'll relay that to the rest of the offense. Penta, just a sophomore. One of 2 Pentas on the roster, Jared and Matt. McHugh comes in motion, dipping behind Penta. He's going to keep it himself. Design quarterback run, and White's in the backfield. And that's going to be another short loss for North. Loss of about 2 brings up 3rd and 14 now for Penta and the North offense. And Ranieri is being ready to come back onto the field.
Meanwhile, North Attleboro Athletic Director Kirk Kummer is up here in the booth, and I'm wondering where the Eggs Benedict were. He's got a couple of sandwiches there that he seems to be eating.
Timeout called by Milford there, trying to keep as much time on the clock as they can. And with this opportunity, we'll again shout out our corporate sponsor, W.H. Riley. Nearly 150 years ago, William H. Riley and his son Elmer started providing coal, straw, and other heating supplies to the people of North Attleboro. W.H. Riley and Son is still owned by the same family, but now delivers oil and propane and services your heating system and air conditioner. Today, like then, you can rely on W.H. Riley for all your heating and cooling needs.
Well, we won't have any cooling needs tonight. It's starting to get a little nippy out here.
We're not going to need cooling needs for quite some time, as few more days left in October. September, who cares? Same thing.
Well, one thing we have noticed tonight is a lack of cramping up on the North Attleboro sidelines. So maybe we've approached that part of the season where the weather cooperates in that aspect.
3rd down and 14. Ranieri back out of the shotgun for North Attleboro. Took a couple plays off, looking for the swing pass. Darts one inside. That's going to be completed to Jassa, short of first down yardage. Gets across the 40-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and about 4. That was a good read and a good throw by Ranieri. Was looking for the swing man, Labonte. Came back inside to Jassa. And it looks like the offense will stay on the field and go for it here.
54 degrees here at Raymond E. Beaupre Jr. Field.
Yep.
So 4th down and short. Certainly manageable here for North. Gauman's going to go to the top of the formation, the wide side of the field. Jassa comes to the bottom of the set. McHugh also being motioned over. And, they were all out of sorts there trying to figure out the alignment. So they're going to take a timeout. Take a full timeout. They wanted to go trips to the top of the formation, couldn't get things figured out in time. So again, still things that the coaching staff can hammer home in the meeting room either tomorrow or Monday, whenever they meet.
But Jared, I gotta say, from what Donnie told me earlier in the week and what his fears were for the lack of good practice time out here, I thought they've executed very well in this game. A few penalties early, which they seem to have gotten that out of their system. But we're not seeing the same things that we saw against Fian, which were the like substitution errors and things like that. We are seeing a much crisper, sharper North Attleboro attack in every facet tonight. And I'm sure he's got to be pleased with that because, as he said, they weren't on the practice field all that much.
And one thing you learn over the years, Mark, as you know, covering sports, is coaches will always come up with reasons why it's been tough. In most cases, it's not so.
And that's going to be a motion at the top of the formation. Little hop there from Gauman. That will move them back 5.
What was I just saying? That's one of those things that I'm sure he would like to purge from it, but there have been very few mistakes of that sort tonight. And I'm sure they'll see it on the films, though, and I'm sure Don will remind his charges that he doesn't want to see that. But in all, a very, very strong performance tonight against I would say, better competition than what they faced last week. And not to put down Sharon at all, I thought they actually did a very good job of moving the ball at times. But, it's a program that's a little bit on the downside this year, and numbers-wise especially. And, you look at all these red shirts out here. That's one thing you don't have to worry about at North Attleboro.
Ranieri out of the gun. They have the alignment correct. The trips to the top of the formation. Ranieri under some pressure, flushed out of the pocket, has a man wide open, just flips it to Gauman, who's all by himself, and he'll walk in for his second touchdown catch of the game. This one, 43 yards, and North back up by 27, this time 41-14.
That should do it for the Starters.
Fourth touchdown of the game for Ranieri, his third passing. He had one on the ground, the second touchdown grab for Gauman.
Yeah, and give Gauman credit. It looked like he was cutting to the middle of the field, saw his quarterback roll, so he rolled back to the outside of the defender. He was behind the defender who didn't locate him.
4 catches, 114 yards for him tonight.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. It's a solid evening for Ryan Gauman, who looks like one of the better receivers, at least in the Davenport division, that we've seen. Snap is good, hold is good, and DiMatteo slides that through the uprights. 42-14, North with the big lead.
You notice who was holding on the extra point.
It was Ryan Gauman. He's got the best hands on the team. You might as well have him out there. Again, you mentioned him coming back to the football there, adjusting his route, knew he was open, helped out his quarterback, and picks up touchdown number 2 on the game for him, and I believe that's his 5th touchdown catch of the season.
You got to look at him. He's not the biggest guy on the team. He's actually a smaller player, but tough as nails and incredibly smart.
And he's got, what I like about him is he's got separation speed.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that once if he can get out away from the defense, obviously, he can make a lot of distance between him and his defenders. Yep. He can turn it on in a second like that. There's a burst that comes out of him, and that works. It's been working very well for North Attleboro, and it's really going to serve them well as they continue on and through this Davenport division.
Andy DiMatteo will kick off for North. Feaster is the lone deep man for Milford. They're going to try to angle this away from him. By far and away leading Milford in all-purpose yards in this game is Chappelle Feaster. Little dinked kick in this one. Will hop out of play. And that will draw the penalty flag on North for the illegal procedure.
And one more thing for Coach Johnson to put on the to-do list.
I just work on that angled kick there. Would have liked for that one to just skip and hold up before it goes out of play. So I believe they're going to bring this to the 40-yard line. Pretty decent starting field position again for Milford. They've had pretty good field position a couple different times. I think part of the lights just went out here at Beaupre Field.
That's all on a timer. They have these lights that show that illuminate the stands, but they're on a timer somewhere, and they just went off.
At the 35-yard line.
The regular lights are still on, fortunately.
Snap corralled by the quarterback. Pyers skips away from pressure, and he's going to have enough to pick up the first down. Before sliding out of bounds. So another broken play that Pyers makes the most out of.
First down and stop the clock.
Somebody's going to have to get a bag of quarters and put them in the little meter that's at the bottom of those lights, I think.
We actually heard in pregame this almost happened last week. Oh, and there's an illegal procedure there on Lahane, who went half a second too early, so move Milford back 5 yards, 1st and 15. That's a no-doubter. So Pyers goes over, gets the play call from Coach Vizakis. Oh, 5. Pyers out of the gun. 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation. Feaster to the short side of the field. That's man-to-man coverage there with Jassa. Pyers looking to the left side of the field. Looking over the middle. Has Lahane. Lahane behind the defense. He'll grab this one and sprint into the end zone. 58-yard touchdown pass for Pyers to Lehane.
Well, they're certainly not lacking in big play capability. I'll say that much for them.
He just ran away from the defender Labonte. This is a solid throw from Pyers to Lehane, right in stride, and that allowed Lehane to jog into the end zone, showing off his legs for something other than an extra point or field goal there.
And they, in this one game, they scored more points than they had in the entire previous set of games.
So Lehane, after the long touchdown run, does he have enough gas in the tank? Yes, he does for the extra point.
Yeah.
42-21. Pyers showing that when given time, I mean, he can throw a pretty good ball.
That was a nice throw.
He looks solid. That was right on a dime there to Lehane. And that passing game is something that Milford could certainly use to their advantage moving on for the rest of the season. They have some weapons there. That was Lehane this time. Feaster obviously on the outside. White has a couple catches as well, and he's been targeted a few times. So if they can get him time, and that's going to be on the offensive line, well, they've got some weapons and a quarterback who can get them the ball.
Yeah, it's nice to see that they actually do have a bit of an explosive quality to them. And, I'm certain when you're looking at the scoreboard and you're seeing the big deficit, it's also nice to see them fighting to get these points and really staying in the game. I mean, like you said, the Milford coaching staff is going to have a lot of positive vibes. Even if the score remains prohibitive as it is, they're going to have some good things to look at on the film, and they can use that against some of the teams they're going to be facing later on.
Hands team on the field for North Attleboro. They're expecting the onside kick attempt. And Lehane will drive this one deep over the head of Gauman, and this will bounce at the 1 yard line into the end zone and will be down for the touchback.
Oh, did you see how that ball almost stopped, though?
Yeah, that kicked straight up at the 1 yard line. I was thinking the same thing, that Gauman was going to have to field that.
But he was ready.
Yep.
He planned to let it go in, but he was ready. He was down low and balanced. He wasn't going to trip on it like some returners do. Look at, he's balanced. He's ready. He's just a very good, smart player.
It never ceases to amaze me. The more I see of and I have seen over the years of
–
punters and kickers at the highest level, how they are almost able to get backspin like a golfer who's putting the ball on the green and having it stop and actually come back. That was a nice kick and a very good job down there to field it. Make sure it didn't, cause problems.
Penta gives it to Boyle. Shifts his way across the 30-yard line. Picks up about 6 yards. Second down and 4. Nice carry there for Boyle. Watch him just hop his way through the hole, find some space, and I mean, they have to be averaging about 4.5 yards a carry right now in this one.
And we can note that there are still, mostly the first string out there. And I don't mean to be harping on this at all, because I can see why Donnie's doing this. This is a game that has not kind of been under their control still. They've got the big lead, so there's control there. But it's good to keep these guys working right now and have them in this situation.
Penta keeps it off the left side, bursts through the secondary, dives across the 40, enough for a first down. And the sophomore moves the chains on the ground.
This kid's got a future. He is, in the couple of times that I've seen him, we saw him in the Feehan game a little bit. He had some nice snaps in the Sharon game. This is a good backup situation for the Red Rocketeers right now.
The mark of a program is you lose players, you just reload. You've always got someone waiting to take their place, and we see this every year with this North Attleboro team.
Penta in the pistol, tosses it to McHugh to the near sideline, cuts up inside behind a blocker, and he's going to pick up 3 yards. Second down and 7, but you'll take that pickup on first down.
Clemente just picks him up like a little suitcase. And
that was a hard tackle. Look at the shot he took.
Yep.
Second and 7 for the Red Rocketeers offense.
Clock keeps ticking.
Yeah, just looking to see this game out and move their record to 4-1 on the year, or 3-1, unbeaten at 2-0 in Hockomock League play. Looking for their third straight Davenport Division Championship. There's hopping around. Boyle made a couple men miss, picked up 3 more yards. Third down and 4. for the Red Rocketeers.
What I like about Boyle, too, just when he sees the contact coming, he gets that second hand on the ball. He's always protecting it.
Yeah, ball security at this point in the game. Very important. That's one way to see your touches drop down in the future if you put the ball on the deck.
I always noticed when I went into Mark's office at the Attleboro paper, when he saw me come in, that second hand went on the keyboard. He wasn't taking any chances.
You never want to fumble the keyboard.
3rd down and 4. Penta will keep it himself, and his second effort will get himself to the 50 and pick up the first down for North.
Meanwhile, this is that moment when the camera guys should be looking up at the sky at this rather impressive 3/4 moon that's rising in the background. Beautiful night here at Beaupre Field. It doesn't get any better than this when you're in your high school years, even when you're just an old guy like me calling a game from a booth. Just tons of fun at high school football, and I've loved it for years.
There we go. Ask and you shall receive. There's a shot of the
there we go.
The fittingly orange moon here on the eve of October.
Yep.
Well, 1st down and 10 from midfield. 2:20 and counting for North Attleboro. Penta out of the shotgun with Boyle in the backfield. They'll turn and hand it to Boyle. Hops to the right and is stacked up after picking up 1 yard. Brings up 2nd down and 9.
Well, the running gets tough now because they know you're not going to pass. They're just bringing that safety up. They're not pass rushing you. They're just staying in their running lanes and making it very difficult for the runners to go anywhere.
That was Shaver who shot the gap there and made the tackle.
See, I think this makes the North Attleboro attack tougher. You have to be tougher to clean out those spaces, and this will prove valuable down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something to learn every step of the way in a game. Every step of the way.
You always talk about how valuable these minutes of live action are for these guys.
And now we are getting a lot of new faces in the Red Rocketeer offense right now.
Yep.
Penta stays in at quarterback. New running back looks like 33, Jacob Silva. Man in motion is Brett Labonte. Penta keeps it up the middle after faking to Labonte, and he gets across the 45-yard line to the 44. A pickup of 5. 3rd down and 4 for the Red Rocketeers.
And, you know, Labonte doesn't get the handoff, but he gets to run that route for the handoff. That's live action. He's going full speed. He sees the defense coming. This, even though he doesn't get the ball, that's great.
Well, 3rd down and 4 for the Red Rocketeers. 21-point lead over the Milford Hawks. We saw some pretty big passing plays in this game from both teams. Feaster had a couple 40-yard touchdown catches. Gauman with a couple 40-yard touchdown grabs of his own. Give up the middle. Silva stops and starts, keeps driving, and picks up the first down.
And that should be enough. Obviously, we are inside the last minute of play. They may have to take another snap, obviously, but that first down obviously puts an end to it. And a very, very strong performance, I thought, by the Rocketeers, and a nice challenge by the Milford Scarlet Hawks. I thought they really represented themselves well.
This is the time of year where North starts to put in their best performances of the year. So we'll see what their high water mark will be on the season as things continue. Silva is driven down at about the original line of scrimmage for no gain on 1st, and North might have to run one more play. But it's 3-1 record, maybe not the start they wanted to the year. Obviously losing to Feehan puts a mark on the early season, but at this point in the year to be 3-1 is pretty much all you can ask for North, and they'll stay in the huddle and watch the clock hit triple zeros. They are now 3-1. Milford drops to 0-4. 42-21, our final score here from Raymond Ear Beaupre Field. For everyone here at North TV, for Del Malloy, Mark Farinella, I'm Jared Ware. Have a nice night.